I've got your energy stories for the fourth week of May 2023. And in the first one, Montgomery County, Maryland plans to generate hydrogen at its main transportation center, powered by a microgrid developed by AlphaStruxure. The system will include 5 megawatts of rooftop solar, a 2 megawatt and 7.35 megawatt hour battery storage system, and an electrolyzer creating sufficient hydrogen to fuel 13 fuel cell powered transit buses. In New York, Orange and Rockland Utilities just completed a 12 megawatt, 57 megawatt hour battery storage system to support the distribution grid and provide substation backup. So-called non-wires alternative projects using batteries to supplement transmission and distribution infrastructure are on the rise. Earlier this month, PNM of New Mexico pitched a 12 megawatt project consisting of two 6 megawatt batteries located where the distribution system is stressed, calling it the lowest cost option for addressing overloaded feeders. S&P Global Commodity has identified 39 U.S. gas utility hydrogen projects. Over half of these looked at blending low or zero carbon hydrogen with gas into pipeline networks, but there are a few key issues here. First, H2 has only a third of the energy by volume, so you have to move a lot more of it to get the same energy equivalent. There are also issues related to increased pipeline brittleness and leakage rates, especially with blends exceeding 5% of total volume. About 25% of the projects identified involve power generation, including fuel cells. As part of its carbon mitigation strategy, Microsoft will buy CO2 credits from Ørsted from gases captured at 2 Danish biomass plants and stored in geological reservoirs under the North Sea. The project should start in 2025, and for its part, Ørsted linked a $218 million contract with Norwegian firm Aker Carbon Capture ASA for equipment to capture and liquefy the gases before they are transported for storage in a Norwegian North Sea facility jointly owned by Equinor, Shell, and Total Energies. The Lawrence Livermore National Ignition Facility ignited our fusion passions last December when it announced the first net energy gain, about 50%, from a fusion experiment, with its target chamber becoming the hottest place in the solar system. But as with any such science, it's got to be reliably repeated for the experiment to be built upon. And there's the rub, at least thus far. The 5 attempts since have all failed to repeat the outcome. Some use less power, others could not replicate the precision of the diamond capsules used to hold the hydrogen pellets that were bombarded with the laser's energy. They'll keep trying, and we'll keep watching, but clearly fusion is hard, at least for now. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation issued warnings related to both upcoming summer and winter grid reliability. In its summer outlook, NERC warned that substantial parts of the United States and Canada run the risk of energy shortfalls during extreme heat events, specifically citing the U.S. West, Midwest, Texas, Southeast, New England, and also Ontario and Canada. And earlier in the week, NERC issued an unprecedented Level 3 alert for the winter, highlighting essential actions for cold weather preparations for extreme weather events. So what if there is a widespread outage? Well, in PJM, they just told regulators that almost 50% of their black start units, the backup generation that helps restart the generators if they go down during a blackout, that keep us from a prolonged so-called dark sky event, well, those black start units lack firm fuel supplies. They're also currently spread unevenly across the grid. During widespread blackouts, grid operators restore juice by first starting these black start units, and then by building cranking paths to other critical power plants and creating enclaves of revived services, which can then be synchronized and connected to other neighbors. So it wants to offer incentives for black start generators to have assured fuel supplies, which it hasn't required to date. It's a poor analogy, but that's kind of like requiring me to have a fridge, but had no food in it. They'd also need to meet minimum commitment periods, performance requirements, and testing, and be able to run for at least 16 hours on their own. Well, PJM is not the only one that's been falling down in this area, this critical area that could theoretically help keep us alive. After Winter Storm Uri, it was revealed that more than half of Texas's 28 black start generators experienced outages themselves. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.